The Dallas Mavericks season has officially come to a close after a brutal run that fell far short of championship expectations. We are kicking off a deep dive into individual player performances, starting with the star rookie Cooper Flagg. Despite the team's struggles, Flagg proved why he was the first overall pick by putting up historic numbers and showing the grit of a future superstar.
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLume 3-Pack Screen Protector plus 3-Pack Camera Lens Protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
With the draft approaching, the front office faces a massive strategic crossroads regarding the future of the franchise. Rumors are heating up about whether the Dallas Mavericks should gamble their assets in a high-stakes trade negotiation with the Oklahoma City Thunder for 2 coveted first-round picks. It is a bold move that could either accelerate their rebuild or leave them scrambling for depth. The scouting department has their eyes set on a dynamic playmaker who could be the missing piece of the puzzle. We are talking about Darius Acuff Jr., the talented guard from the Arkansas Razorbacks who is capturing headlines for his elite scoring ability. While defensive concerns remain a talking point, many believe that working under Jason Kidd could turn him into the perfect long-term running mate for Cooper Flagg. Trouble is brewing in Oklahoma City as the Thunder deal with a major setback that could shift the landscape of the playoffs. Jalen Williams has re-aggravated a hamstring injury, forcing coach Mark Daigneault to rely even more heavily on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to carry the offensive load. Will this injury derail their momentum, or can they survive the pressure? Stay ahead of the game by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and ringing the bell for all the latest updates. Ever wonder what happens when a top-tier prospect lands in a nightmare scenario? Welcome to the Dallas Mavericks 2025-26 season, a total disaster that saw a squad supposed to be title contenders finish with the 7th worst record in the league. It was a brutal year for fans, but amidst the wreckage, one bright spot stood out: Cooper Flagg. We are kicking off our season grades today by looking at the rookie sensation himself. Coming into this year, the dream was clear: pair Flagg with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving and go for gold. Instead, the team imploded. But here is the crazy part: Flagg actually exceeded expectations. Think about it. He expected to be a role player on a winning team, but he ended up being the entire engine. He led the Mavs in points, rebounds, assists, and steals, becoming the first rookie to do that since Michael Jordan in 1974. That is not just talent. That is elite, historic company. Even when the losses piled up and the frustration was etched on his face, Flagg never checked out. He dropped 51 on the Magic and 49 on the Hornets, barely having a bad game all year long. Honestly, the Rookie of the Year conversation shouldn't even be a debate. While others played well, Flagg was the lone target on the scouting report every single night and still delivered. Looking ahead, the kid needs to tighten up his three-pointer, but the foundation is terrifyingly good. If the Mavs want to keep him happy, they need to fix this roster, because winners like Cooper Flagg don't stay patient forever. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us on X for all the latest updates on this team's rebuild. If this year proved anything, it's that one superstar can change the outlook of a franchise, but he can't do it alone. Ever wondered if chasing a championship title is worth burning your future to the ground? That's the high-stakes gamble currently sitting on the Dallas Mavericks table. The buzz is hitting fever pitch. Should the Mavs really pull the trigger on a massive trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder involving 2 precious first-round picks? Think about it. This is the classic win-now dilemma that defines franchises. On one hand, you have a window of opportunity with Luka Doncic that you cannot waste. Every season he doesn't have another ring is a season the front office is basically gambling with their biggest asset. But trading away 2 first-rounders, that's a heavy price tag. You're essentially betting that your current roster configuration, plus the potential star power they'd acquire, is enough to bypass the juggernauts in the West. It's bold, it's reckless, and honestly, it's exactly the kind of move that turns a good team into a dynasty or a total disaster. We've seen this movie before, and it rarely ends in the middle. So where do you stand? Would you empty the war chest for a title run right now, or are you keeping those picks to build a sustainable future? Drop a comment below and let us know your take. After all, in the NBA, You're either moving forward or you're fading away, and the clock is always ticking. What if I told you the Dallas Mavericks have the secret formula to turn a draft day liability into a franchise-altering star? We've all been watching the buzz around Darius Acuff Jr. ever since he set the college scene on fire for Arkansas. He's got that electrifying offensive bag that makes every highlight reel, but there's an elephant in the room: his defense. Scouts are whispering about his effort levels and his screen navigation, and honestly, those aren't minor concerns for a top 10 pick. But here is the kicker. Dallas might actually be the only team in the league that doesn't care. Think about the personnel already wearing that blue and white. You've got a defensive safety net with guys like Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively patrolling the paint, not to mention Cooper Flagg anchoring the front court. If Acuff Jr. gets beat off the dribble, he isn't walking into a vacuum. He's walking into an elite rim protection system that can mask his flaws while he grows into the role. And let's be real, if Jason Kidd can convince Luka Doncic to lock in on defense during crunch time, he can definitely teach Acuff Jr. That defense starts with pure, unfiltered energy. Why take the risk? Look at the numbers. The Mavs were 27th in offense last season and bottom 5 in three-point shooting. That is a disaster waiting to happen. They need a spark plug, someone who can create their own shot and punish defenses from deep. Acuff Jr. isn't just a shooter, he's an assassin, hitting 44% from behind the arc at Arkansas. He brings that lethal playmaking that would take the pressure off Kyrie Irving immediately. Imagine the mentorship here. Getting to learn the ropes from one of the most skilled ball handlers in NBA history is a cheat code for a young talent. If Dallas pulls the trigger on this, they aren't just drafting a scorer, they're securing their future alongside Cooper Flagg. It's a high-reward move that could turn the Mavs back into a perennial powerhouse. What do you think? Is Acuff Jr. a bust waiting to happen, or is Dallas about to pull off the steal of the draft? Drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep the conversation going. After all, in the NBA, sometimes you have to be willing to gamble on greatness. Winning a playoff game is supposed to be the highlight of your week, but for OKC Thunder fans, Wednesday night felt more like holding your breath while watching a house of cards. Sure, the team secured a 13-point victory, but the real story didn't happen on the scoreboard. It happened when Jalen Williams tweaked that left hamstring again. It is the same injury that sidelined him for half the season, and now, the grade 1 strain is officially under a weekly evaluation. Here is the reality check. If J-Dub is out for an extended period, the Thunder are staring down a ghost from their past, a total, suffocating reliance on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Before Jalen really found his rhythm, we saw what this team looked like without a secondary playmaker. It was a one-man show. Charles Barkley was right at halftime when he praised OKC's incredible versatility, noting how they can throw a big, small, or regular lineup at anyone to dictate the pace. That flexibility is the Jalen Williams effect. He is the glue. Without him, the floor spacing disappears, and the offensive burden shifts right back onto SGA's shoulders. We already know Shai is the third most double-teamed player in the entire league, so imagine what happens when defenses don't have to worry about J-Dub cutting or creating on the perimeter. It's a recipe for offensive stagnation. Does this jeopardize their standing against heavyweights like Denver or San Antonio? It's a fair question, even if those matchups are still a few rounds away. If this injury lingers, the Thunder's depth, their greatest weapon, suddenly starts to look a lot thinner. We are all waiting on pins and needles for the next injury report, but until then, let me know in the comments. Can Shai carry this load alone, or is the dream season at risk? Hit that subscribe button for more Thunder coverage, because one thing is for sure, the road to the finals just got a whole lot bumpier.